Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing the star signs, water signs. We're doing for the sun, moon and rising of December 2021. And the reason I'm doing this now, I would have done it later, is because I've just started a new job, which is great, but I'm well at the moment. I've got some sort of COVID symptoms. So, we can't always control the world as much as we're trying to control it by allowing everyone to get out amongst it, and the freedoms are now lifting. We can now walk without a mask and things like that. We also have to be prepared for going 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. So they were telling me, yes, go and do this job, excellent, and then I picked up something in the air. So I'm home, so I can't do much, can't leave the room, so I'm here doing the readings for everyone else. Maybe that's what I was meant to do. So we've got here, the first card is the Nine of Swords. The decks I'm using today is by Doreen and Radleigh, Valentine. This is the Dark Night of the Soul. This is someone having nightmares, panic attacks. Just that lighting. Nightmares, panic attacks, and just waking up out of a bad dream. So that can happen when we're worried about things beyond our control. I'm sure lots of people aren't sleeping very well because of all the unrest and all the constant flux and nothing's certain, nothing's solid. I'm pretty sure that like Lifeline and Beyond Blue, Men's Line must be having thousands of people calling up because they're not coping with all the changes that are going on and the uncertainty. At least I know most of my friends are not, and neither are my family. So I got tested yesterday. I'm waiting for the results. I'm pretty sure I've got something of it, and I'm just sweating it out in my home. The first card I got was the Wheel of Fortune. This is the next crossing your path. This is a Sagittarian card generally. It talks about the 3 fates, but it also talks about the wheel. So it's 1 calendar year from now, things will start to improve, is what it's saying. And see how it's got hair there? Never cut your hair on a full moon. We're in the full moon of Gemini, so expect power failures, power shortages, problems with the internet, problems with YouTube, just generally problems of communication will be challenged. Your lights might go out. My mother's lights went out. And so, this is all to do with Gemini moon. It's all to do with electricity. And so we have electricity running through our bodies, so it's why it affects whatever's going on. So it's saying that, this wheel is a lucky wheel. It can represent getting a new job, getting a new car, or a new house to live in. It can also represent luck and being able to spin gold, straw into gold, because hair is all about luck. So I took out the citron. It's just got a bit of my last time I cleansed the house with a beautiful smudge stick from Rainbow Runner. I got most of my crystals from Rainbow Runner. This is the citron for luck. It attracts money and good fortune. So that's a good card. Then we've got the Eight of Summer, which is talking about packing up your troubles in your past and leaving a country, state or home for a distant shore. It talks about a more meaningful life, time to move on, choosing to make major life changes, moving states, countries or zip codes, and packing up your gypsy camp and heading south of the border, because it's underneath, so it's facing south on the wheel of, I'm doing the cross, the Celtic cross tarot, so which is a 6-pointed, which is why we do it in a cross formation. So that's beneath you, it's past. It's south of you, which means you must have moved south of where you used to live. Maybe if you moved south of the border, if you were already in the north. Pine needles and trees represents being illuminated, which is also in the 4 of Cups. It's being told to be put at rest or not being able to move forward or backward. It is a time of rest and fallow, hard times. You may have fallen on a karmic cycle because it's an 8 card. Maybe you were meant to learn these lessons by taking 2 steps forward and then 4 steps back, by losing ground, losing jobs, losing homes, losing people. They were meant to fall away for you to focus on you and focus on getting well and focus on what really matters, which is family. Your recent past, you were with someone who is a water sign, and this is a water sign reading, so you may have water in your chart if you're a cross watcher. This is talking about a Pisces, Scorpio or Cancer. Someone who's a romantic, who serenades you with red roses and song, is very into the arts and the culture. That's your recent past. They're an excellent parent, spouse, peacemaker, They may be good at compromising. They may be working in the media or the arts. And then I've got, they are a soulmate, that your better half who arrived with your soul tribe and a defender of all his friends and family. Then we've got here the Princess of Wands, which is the fire sign, which is either a Leo, Sagittarius or Aries star sign. This is either in your chart or there's someone around you that is interested in you that you don't know about. They're optimistic, they're enthusiastic, they're creative, they're energetic. It's time to go after your dreams and your goals, and you could do it all you can. Sing, dance, act, draw, paint, write, anything creative is what it's all about. Let your unique talents shine through. You can organise an event or a birthday party and still manage to work and juggle many things. Sassy. You're the life of the party. You'd be in Sex and the City if you had to be a character. You would be Samantha. Definitely Samantha. And then I keep getting this song on mine. It's by Sam Rockwell dancing with Jimmy Kimmel and Tom Hiddleston. And he sings, you know, and they dance and they show you, because they're amazing dancers, it's just something they do in their part-time. It's their fun thing to do. That song's playing in my head. It's on YouTube. You'll see it. Sam Rockwell dancing with Tom Hiddleston and Jimmy Kimmel. I won't sing it because I don't think I'm that great a singer, but that's what I was getting. So that's the life of the party. That's those two. They draw in a crowd wherever they go. Then you've got in the future, I've got this again from Rainbow Runner in Hamilton, New South Wales, Australia. This is my rose quartz crystal, and it's the Two of Cups, which is to do with love. Two people coming together. Again, Gemini, twin energy. There could be a soulmate coming in. You've got a new soulmate coming in. You have many soulmates in life. It can also be family members or relatives that you are sent here to learn lessons from them so you won't repeat the same mistakes again in this lifetime. Or past people were there to teach you things that you needed to learn as well, like past loves. It can be the future, falling in love, a proposal, an engagement, or the tryst with a fire sign, Sag, Leo, or Aries. Could be an Aries because the Magician card is at the top of this reading. And it talks about that you may have an Aries in your natal chart, a relationship that can be healed. Then we've got the Tower. And the Tower is represented by the Aquarian energy, which we're coming into, Aquarian season very soon. It's already, I think we're in Gemini now. I think the next one goes into Aquarius after Gemini. So we're in Gemini full moon this month, and then we're going straight into Aquarius. And this energy can start from the 24th or 22nd of January and extends into the 22nd of February, which then goes into Pisces. So it talks about let go of belief systems that do not work, pull down structures. Maybe you had something that happened to you. And amethyst is also good for Aquarius because they rule the third eye. And it helps relax you and open up your third eye. So if you've got Aquarian in your chart, things may have come to a head. You may have had a life-changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities like getting a new job or a car or house, and Aquarian around you, or you may be a water sign with Aquarian moon, or you may be a cross-watcher, the Aquarius with a Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer moon, and a possible move or a shocking realisation about your identity, surprises that will shake you to the core. You may be told some information that you had no idea about or was never told about. So usually your intuition. So I've got here lapis, which is helping with intuition. It comes from Egypt, also from Rainbow Runner. And then we've got tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is to do with Leo energy. The Leos need tiger's eye because it helps to see, helps them see things before they come. It opens up their clairvoyant energy. So you tiger's eye. If you have a Leo in your chart, or you have Leo somewhere in your natal chart, or you are a Leo, if you get two tiger's eyes, that can be too much in a room. I found I had two tiger's eyes, and my sight, my clairvoyance was heightened 100% to 200%. It was too much. So I had to take one away. I gave one away. So maybe you just need to use one. So maybe you have less sight in one eye. Maybe your one eye is stronger than your other eye. So that helps you see better. If you carry it on your person as well. I find it's really good. Tiger's eye helps you see. You don't need glasses with tiger's eye. Trust me. Where you're looking, glasses are not required. You have a support group. So it says here, the Prince of Wands is that fiery individual who may be secretly in love with you and will at last come forward to tell you. They may be younger than you or emotionally mature, so they may not always act a certain way. So it's hard for them to admit their feelings to you or even to themselves. They may not want to fall in love. And then you've got the unity card. This is like spiritually minded beings. You may be in a community of people that are spiritual like you or are religious. And it talks about support and community support that is around you. And you may be very fortunate enough to live with them. They may be spiritually minded, doing the right thing for the right reasons, being a spiritual teacher to others. You may be that as well. Or consulting one for guidance. They may be a priest. You may be living with an elder or a priest or a high priestess. Power of prayer, met with resistance. If you're trying to tell someone something and it's met with resistance, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to listen to you because they're maybe oppositional defiance disorder, for example, you need to figure out a way to deliver it to them that doesn't sound like you're telling them what to do or you're being overly controlling. Because if you're overly controlling, especially with an Aquarian energy, if you've got one around you, they're just going to shut down. They're not even going to listen to you. They're just going to shut you out, block you out, not even talk to you. That's just how they are. You've got to realise you can't sit and dictate to an Aquarian. It's not going to work. If you're at a workplace, it's different. They'll do everything that you want and go above and beyond for something they believe in. But this is in like family, trying to tell them what to do. No, it's not going to work. They're very honest Aquarians as well. So this community might be spiritual, power of prayer, and so you are dealing with an Aquarian. It's no use barking orders at them if you're a family member or trying to control them. They will just choose to time you out, live and shut you out completely. Have a correct strategy instead of brute force. Having a support group like Lifeline, as I was saying before, it's a stressful time out there, so everyone's a bit stressed. Being honest and true to spiritual organisations or people with high ideals or spiritual things. And you've got the Magician, which is the last card, which is about an ability to manifest. The crystal I've used here is the quartz, because the quartz crystal is cleansing, and it also helps open up the clairvoyance and the third eye and allow good stuff in rather than bad stuff. And there he is with his staff or his wand made of crystal. That's why I put it there. Red roses is love, white is purity, pure of heart. You can do anything. Take charge of your life. You can manifest what you need to be a success. The Magician is magical. The ability to manifest anything, training, visualizing your hopes and dreams. Nothing can stop you, and all your wishes and money will magically turn up. Friends wanting to help out, or the job will just suddenly appear. You have amazing skills at your fingertips. It is also wise to seek out good advice from experienced people. Ask for help, and the cavalry will arrive. And then you've got like the light switched out with my mum. I just kept writing her name, her first name, middle name, and then light at the end of it. And then I placed it under the light. And within an hour and a half, the lights came back on. They told her 4 hours. It happened in an hour and a half of leaving her name written down under my lamp. Manifestation is the purest form of how I can say. What you write down, what you say, what you tell others, you are manifesting that by talking about it, speaking aloud about it, or writing about it. It's all manifestation, law of attraction. So now I'm going to pull some more cards. This is to do with the Enchanted map by Colette-Baron-Reid. This is just a clarification deck. We're already on 13 minutes. There you go. Water signs came in strong today. Moon, the full moon will do it. That's why I'm doing it now. The full moon is tomorrow, and it's a Gemini moon. Geminis can be emotional too. They just choose not to show it to everyone. They're very private with their emotions, and the ones that they do show it to, wow, you must be pretty special in their pecking order. Compass, that's direction. Again, it talks about listening to your inner compass. Let it guide you where you need to go. Sometimes our intuition is stronger than our physical self knows things, or someone could, say, oh, you should go here. And no, you listen to your inner voice. Your inner voice will always tell you where to go. Where your next safe place to fall, you should go to. We've had an outbreak in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia, And so we've got issues with COVID everywhere. Oh, there we go. Again, another tower, solitude. Looking after your health is so important. If your health is not good, nothing else is good. I once had a friend who was from Russia, Ukraine, and her name was Olga. She was very Russian. And she said to me once, a long time ago, I was 17, apprentice, what was it? Training. I was in a traineeship. And she said to me, you must always have your health is the most important thing. Everything else you can lose, but your health is most important. No place like home. That's that home I keep picking up. You're going to find a home in the most unusual place. It's an unusual home, but it's going to be your home that you will purchase or move to. Because of the location or just because it's near water. You're a water sign, you need water. Unfinished symphony. Interesting. Like tracks like. So we'll go with 50, which is 5, and I keep getting 5s in my chart because my name is Kelly and it's got 5 letters. 5s represent protection. If you look it up in the numbers online, if you Google search 5 represents protection. So I'm being protected wherever I go, which is a really good thing because I've got water in my chart. I have Pisces, I have Scorpio, and I have Cancer, Moon. I've got a lot of fire in my chart, but I've got a lot of water as well. So I'm affected by the moon more than anyone else. I get my most psychic impressions on a full moon. And when the water is still, meaning you can't move forward, as in you can't leave your house, that's when I get my best intuitive messages. 13. Or when the water's, as in ladies' month, then that's again a very powerful time for me. That week or the week after. I'm comfortable in my own skin as I detach to replenish my soul. Meditation is required when you receive the solitude card as a sign. Empty your mind of superfluous thoughts and allow stillness to flow through your whole being. This is not the time to ask questions or push forward in any way. Rather, it's a period for a conscious retreat. What's called for is rest. Step back, rest your body, take your focus off your life and your troubles, and you'll be surprised by how things sort themselves out once you replenished your energy by means of a much needed rest, and they're giving you a time out. So your angel team, your spirit guides have enforced you to be ill, that's me, sick, to get well, because I unfortunately take on lots of people's energy. I don't mean to. I'm an empath. I just do. I live in a house with 8 other people. Whatever's going on with them impacts me directly. The less I'm here, the less it impacts me. But when I'm here, I absorb, and I can't shut it off. I can't shut it out. And I've tried all sorts of things, and Mitchell Coombs keeps telling me once this COVID lockdowns go away, I want to go do a course with him because he's the guy. He's Australia's most trusted psychic. But he understands it more than anyone, how overwhelming it can be. I've seen him live outside in a spiritual part where they had a spiritual market, where they had like stalls with all the spiritualists there, and he gave a live reading and picked mine up immediately, straight away. He was amazing. He was that was back in September last year. He predicted a year ahead that my grandfather was going to get sick, or a father figure was going to become ill, and he did. And he pulled through. He didn't say whether he pulled through or not, but he did. Power of prayer. But he was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. He knew things that no one else would have known. And then we've got here 50. We've done that. That's the 13 solitude. And we're going to 50, which is 5 compass. As long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. So, okay, you may have moved south of the border, but maybe, like spiritually, the angel that rules the north is Uriel. The angel that rules the south is Archangel Michael, which is why my son does better in New South Wales than what he does in Brisbane. The angel Uriel that governs Queensland is also a magical being. I seem to do better in the north than I do the south for some reason. But it's saying here that your true north is that you will find uncharted territories right now and expect wonderful new experiences to stay on the highest path of your destiny. You'll need to keep your compass pointed to true north. Only spirit or a higher power can serve this function. Money, property, prestige, romance, and other material achievements can't help you find your true path. They're simply things you may experience along the journey. Know that spirit is working in your life, so even if you feel lost temporarily, it will be easy to find your way. Have faith and trust for your compass with spirit as true north. Will ensure that you'll never be lost even on a starless night when all seems dark. Again, Aquarian energy. Stars, star is, you are the star, the Aquarian is the star energy. It's number 17. And the tower is also Aquarian energy. Tower is synonymous with Aquarian energy. So it's talking, that is definitely talking about Aquarian energy again. It's the confirmation of an Aquarian in your life. If you're a water sign, there's an Aquarian in your life, that you have a connection on a spiritual level that you'll have with no one else. They may not be your ideal counterpart as far as physical attributes, how they look or how they are, or size or shape. But spiritually, you connect on the astral. You were meant to find them, because on this journey, in this time, you were meant to find them in this journey, in this lifetime. Or maybe you knew them in many lifetimes before, and you've come back to adjust the karma. Maybe they died at war. Maybe you were separated by famine, war, whatever, and you've come back into this life to try and reconcile that love that you had for that Aquarian. And this lifetime, you get to have what you want. They say karma returns. They say people can reincarnate. Definitely. Okay, so then I've got here Unfinished Symphony. I don't believe in people being crazy. I don't think there's such a thing as crazy, like schizophrenia, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. They say that those people have mental health issues. I don't believe that. I actually believe some people can be possessed by evil spirits. When you are tired, when you are weak, when you are lethargic, when you've lost belief in yourself, people that are evil can crouch or hide inside a person's soul for a time, and then once they're released through something like an exorcism, then that person is released from that energy. But it can happen. I do believe that the people that have passed over, that are dead, that are evil, like Jack the Ripper and people like that, crouch inside someone else's soul sometimes when they feel that person's open to it. Like the Amityville Horror, when that entire household was possessed by demonic activity. There is demonic activity in a lot of housing that people don't even realise. And that's the thing that plays with their hair. That's the thing that walks up their corridors. That's a spirit, a ghost. I've been in front of a ghost. It sat on my chest in a house I lived in, Turnbull Street, 124 Turnbull Street. Whoever that woman was, she hung herself from the ceiling. She had a black hat on and a black dress. And years later, I'm talking like 2 years ago, I lived in Mayfield, and there was a picture by Snowball. That was the name of the famous photographer. He came up from America or London, and he did like photos of the rich and famous that lived in the area. And there was this photo of a picnic scene, and she was at the picnic. And she was married to a very prominent figure, the Hunter Institute of Dramatic Arts, which lives in Elizabeth Street. There's a building there that has domestic violence, funny enough. They do domestic violence training in there. And that's where he used to preside over there. He was like a mayor of the Hamilton, or a very important benefactor or head of the arts culture. And again, this is to do with the water sign reading I'm doing now. He was head of the arts faculty. He used to drink and it used to beat her. That's what I got, because I'm a psychic medium. He used to beat her. And she couldn't take it anymore, and so she hung herself. But there's a picture of her, and that was the woman that I saw hanging from the rafters that was haunting me when I lived in that house. So yeah, people can act through other people. That's probably why she was attracted to me, because I was in a domestic abusive partnership. And that's probably what she identified with. At the time, he was crazy, admitted as well. Okay, so we've got Unfinished Symphony. Maybe he was possessed. Again, I'm still unsure about whether people are crazy or just possessed by a spirit because they've got a weak mind. Right, Unfinished Piano Lessons. It's got a piano on here. An incomplete lesson, a lack of closure. There's an egg, which means manifestation. This is a time to tie up a loose end as you near the completion of a cycle, project, and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can move forward, it's important you come to terms with where you are now. Practical, radical acceptance. Take inventory so that the emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed to that symphony, so that symphony can finally end on a high note. Moving on is difficult when love lingers. There are things that have been left unsaid. You haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship. In your heart, you can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings, even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved and close the door in the past. You can set yourself free. Only then can new love bloom. Make sure you complete projects now before starting new ones. Perhaps you created something special that will increase your sense of abundance and bring you opportunities for wealth. However, if you don't see it through, it won't add up to anything but more clutter. Now's the time to put your nose to the grindstone and complete the tasks that have accumulated. Pay your bills, sign the documents, do your filing, hand in assignments on time, complete a work of art, tie up loose ends so you move forward with surety, knowing you're on the prosperous path and feeling refreshed and excited about the future. So yeah, cross your T's and dot your I's is doing the mundane things. I got asked to do a reading for a workmate at work, and I kind of said, look, I don't do that in work time. That's an outside thing, but if you want to get a reading, go online and watch it on YouTube. It doesn't interfere with this job. It's different to, I do this from home. But if you want a private reading, I haven't actually put the details there. It's Moonlight Madness, and I have a card which I'll get. I think I put it in the cupboard. You can email me direct, and I'll find a way to send it to you. I'm still new at this. I'm still learning. I just need a piece of clothing. Usually a piece of clothing, I'd have to meet you somewhere and grab a piece of clothing. You can send me a piece of clothing or a piece of old jewellery. Something with your energy on it, basically. So I can keep it on my person, and then I do a tarot reading, and then I send it to you via this way, I guess. I guess I'd email it to you. That's my card. Moonlight Madness. KellyHardiman28@gmail.com. Tarot cards, crystal healing, energy channeling, psychometry. Yes, I channel people that have passed over. No, I can't do it for everyone. Don't know why I do it. I just do. In November every year, I get to channel. It's not in my cards. They've been wet because I was walking in the rain with these. It's interesting. Yeah. In November, I seem to channel Joe DiMaggio. I have no idea why. He's just someone I channel. And he comes through in November. Walks right beside me. He's very tall. Very handsome. I actually dated a guy once that looked like him. And I'm beginning to think he might be related to him somehow, somewhere. But yeah, Joe DiMaggio, most famous baseball player ever, who was in love with Marilyn Monroe. So, something. He was very romantic. I think he was a Scorpion too, from memory. That's why I see him in November. He was a Scorpion, and he laid bunches of flowers at her headstone every year of her death. He organised the funeral, the wake, and he told all MGM to keep away from her because he believed that was their fault that she died. That was a true love. He absolutely adored her, and she was Gemini. So it's interesting. I've got a Gemini moon at the moment, and we're in Scorpio. I'm reading for Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. That's their love story. That was a true love for her. They got on so well, and she tried to be the wife, but she also was a movie star. He couldn't handle the publicity that she went through, and he couldn't handle all of them taking photos. And what split them up? I'm reading the book about her by Barbara Leaming. What split them up was this picture of her in Times Square, New York, and she's got the dress blown up around her, shows off her underwear. Him being very old school, didn't approve, and they split up because of it. Famous dress, on a great There they are, there on their wedding day. 1954. I believe they got married. I believe they had a child. There was something in this book talking about how she had on a set, she was working and she had appendicitis and she never took time off work. She kept going, but she should have, because she was really, really unwell. But I don't think it was an appendicitis. There's pictures of her that have turned up years later by her best friend who says that she was pregnant. So either she adopted the baby, I'm thinking she did, because she was mentally not fit to have the child because her mother had mental health and she had mental health. So she didn't actually keep the baby, but I think that's why they never forgot each other. And he later remarried. And I think she called him the night that she almost died. And he knew something was up with her. And the housekeeper called him, I think, first. And then he made the arrangements for the funeral. But they never stopped loving each other, even through death, through time, space, and energy. It never dies. It just continues on in other forms. So I do believe that people can have possession of a person or exhibit traits that are like that person. Actually, Marilyn Monroe was the first person to have her body immersed in... they had a special technique in a funeral parlour where they not freeze the body, but they inject this stuff into the body that if that soul wants to return to that body, it can. And I can't think of the name. If someone knows it, write it down below on my page. But that was the first of them that they did that. I think it's something to do with a certain way of preserving the body so it doesn't decay. And it's a religious technique. And they inject this fluid, this funeral parlour fluid that they put into the body to make it plump on the day. But that fluid also opens up the doorway for a person to return its soul to its soul. Funeral parlours know about this technique. Anyone that's a funeral parlour person, you can write down beneath that about that. She was the first one to do that. And after that, lots of movie stars followed her footsteps and had the same thing happen to them, so that in hope that they could come back. Again, it's a very old Egyptian belief for the soul to return to its casket. They used to bury their organs next to their body. This is a very Scorpion thing, interested in death. They put all their jars of liver and spleen and everything. They did basically a lobotomy and pulled everything out, put it beside their bodies to go to take it to the afterlife. So when they returned, they had all their organs with them. They didn't believe in donating your organs back then. You took your body parts with you. I'm a big believer of that. I would never donate my body parts to anyone. No, I don't think that's the right thing. I think that whatever's donated, that can also possess that body, because that's someone else's organs. Who's to say it doesn't come, that characteristics of that person doesn't come with you when you have the transplant? Just saying. Anyway, that's very gory, but I think it's fascinating. She was way ahead of her time. She was a very smart lady. And all that thing that she did on Marilyn was all an act. She was, I'm just going to put on Marilyn for a minute, and she'd do the Marilyn, but that was not her. She was a very intelligent young lady, beyond her time. That's all I have for water signs.